most exciting thing of all about the Ahsoka Tano series are two things. Number one, it was 100% written by Dave Filoni, and number two, it had zero Kathleen Kennedy input on a creative scale, and it's going to be the first Star Wars project ever since 2015 that has absolutely no interference by Kathleen Kennedy herself, so I really do think that this project is going to stand on something of its own. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new, and like this video to see future Star Wars updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support, and without wasting too much of your time, let's get right into the subject here. Now, we know that Ahsoka Season 1 is all set and ready to debut now on August 23rd. Yes, that's the official release date. Mark your calendars. That's when the first episode drops on Disney+. There's still no word if they're going to drop 2 episodes on one given day or not, similar to what they did before in the past with other shows, but moving forward, what's interesting about this is that Ahsoka Season 2 is already well into development. Dave Filoni and John are still in the storyboarding and notes phase, but they're not beginning the script just yet because of the writer's strike. So just keep in mind that it's still slated for holiday of 2025. That's the overall plan right now. Unfortunately, if the writer's strike persists, it could very well get delayed until 2026. It really all is highly dependent on that. So what's really intriguing is exactly what's currently being planned out for the second season of Ahsoka, and how a lot of it is about to get very mystical and very much embedded within the cosmic force. We're going to be tapping into this right now. So with John and Dave beginning to develop multiple Star Wars TV shows, one of which is the continuation of the Ahsoka series in the form of Season 2 that is going to change history forever. Now, both John and Dave have already storyboarded Ahsoka Season 2, where one of the scenes is set to do something truly unexpected. Now, in one of the storyboard illustration descriptions, the major sequence is set to involve a moment in which Ahsoka is seen looking through a portal of some kind in the world between worlds that showcases Ben Solo in the world of Exegol. The reason why it's described as in the world of Exegol is that John and Dave are planning to show fans what Ben went through when he fell into the pit on Exegol during the sequel trilogy when Palpatine threw him in there. It's in this very given moment where Ahsoka is said to be the one that will speak to Ben Solo through the portal, where she is guiding him for a way out of the world between worlds, where John and Dave are about to make it canon that it was Ahsoka and the Force ghosts of the past that taught Ben Solo the technique to transfer one's life to another. So let me stop here quick for one moment. The fact that this is going to finally explain how Ben Solo was taught this ability to use the life force technique on such a grand scale to literally give life to another person and to revive someone has a lot to do with the world between worlds and the power of the netherworld of the Force. And what's interesting about this is that this lies in connection with the Virgins of the Force. You guys may or may not know about the lore on Exegol, but basically the Sith cultists that live on there, they were mining for, of course, this special type of energy that resides underneath the surface of the planet that holds connections to the WBW. And what's interesting about this is the fact that John and Dave are about to canonize it, that Ahsoka does speak to Ben Solo. She reaches out to him, guides him, as well as the Force Ghost. It's not just her, it's also Luke, it's Leia, it's Yoda and Kenobi, all these fan-favorite characters really kind of tuning in to guide Ben out of the world between worlds to give life to Rey that would ultimately give them a shot at ending the Sith once and for all. Now, what's interesting about this is the fact that John and Dave are going out of their way to really kind of change specific key elements of the sequels, to add more answers to specific questions about what happened to Ben Solo when he was flung into the pit. And it also is going to unravel a lot of mysteries related to the world of Exegol. So moving to the next thing here is this. This scene is still being worked on for specifics, but John and Dave's general concept and plan is for Ahsoka to be a guide along with the Force Ghost to help Ben Solo out of the WBW and out of the versions of the Force that trapped him in the depths of Exegol for quite some time as a time dilation effect, impacting Ben Solo compared to the outside world. Filoni is said to be getting very mystical for Ahsoka Season 2 that will hold many ties to the sequels, originals, and prequels in a similar fashion. Adam Driver has already been approached by John and Dave to make this short cameo to become a part of Season 2 for his scene, Trapped in the Depths of Exegol. They plan to begin filming by spring or summer of 2024 if they begin writing the script by this summer. Now, on top of this, we also know that there are going to be special editions arriving for their 10-year anniversaries of The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker. The big plan for The Rise of Skywalker special edition is that they do want to revive some deleted footage where Ben Solo does come to Rey's aid to fight Palpatine and to destroy the Sith once and for all, and to kind of add more value to that scene as if the Skywalkers, or a true Skywalker, helps defeat Sidious. So, there's a lot of great things coming out of Lucasfilm and Disney right now. I think that this is great and all because it kind of dives more into the mythology, the deep lore of the Star Wars universe that so many fans, including myself, really do cherish and have been asking for a very long time. Now, given that Ahsoka Season 2, it is very far away. I mean, we're not going to see this thing till the end of 2025, and that's, by the way, if they even stay on schedule. It's really all dependent, like I said before, on the writer's strike, which is sad but true. But what's really inspiring about this is how they really are going to be explaining more about the Netherworld, its connections to the world between worlds, and how Exegol is essentially a conduit to entering into those realms, or holding connections to those two realms. And that's what makes Exegol such a special destination in the canon. Now, this could very well have a lot to do with why Palpatine chose to go here, and why he was using his cultists to discover this hidden power to essentially perhaps change elements of the past. For all we know, who knows what Palpatine's true, motives were on that planet. But we know that the high criticism by fans for Episode 9 was the return of Palpatine's flat and simple. A lot of fans did not like this. I, however, thought, as much as I wasn't really a big supporter of it, it did add value to Episode 9. I mean, we all gotta agree, if there was no Palpatine in that movie, and if you just took him out, and if it was just about the whole Rey and Kylo thing, the way it was right now, I think you would feel like that there's a lot of missing elements in there that could have really been of value. So Palpatine at least added some entertainment value to Episode 9. I'm not saying that it made all that much sense. They could have at least built up toward that instead of it feeling so random. And that really was the case, by the way. It was a random decision. It was a last-minute call out of fear of a lack of a villain for Episode 9. And that's the only criticism I hold. I don't mind Palpatine coming back, but the way he came back was horrible. He didn't explain how he died, or should I say how he survived from his seemingly death. But overall, guys, drop a comment below, fill me in below what you all have to say about this, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.